All right, we're just getting this in. Senator Chuck Grassley, Republican, very influential committeeman here on all things Senate policy, is not ruling out Supreme Court pick hearings, not ruling out, and that came, I'm told, about 15, 20 minutes ago, by which time we were finished with our segment examining this entire process and whether it's really wise for Republicans to go tit for tat on this with the numbers they have. Now, might we change policy in Washington? We're not so arrogant to assume that we could. We are arrogant enough to assume we just did. Follow us, America. All right, former Deputy Assistant Attorney General under Bush 43, John Yoo on that. Journal, very good to have you. What do you make of this? And Chuck Grassley now indicating, yeah, we might hold hearings. What do you think?
I think the Senate certainly go through, if it wants to, the process of having a hearing. I just think the Senate ought not to vote and confirm anybody until the results of the November election are known. It's just the same way the president has every freedom and right to nominate someone under the Constitution, under the Appointments Clause, but the Senate has the full power of advice and consent and has no constitutional duty to rush itself or even ever to give an up or down vote.
Why is it rushing? We're in a final year, I understand, but he's got a year to go. The process, I'm told, takes anywhere from, I'm told the average is 67 days from a president nominating someone to their approval or disapproval in the Senate. So that still leaves the president with 9 months to go.
Well, I think this is common with lame duck presidencies in their very last year. You have the opportunity to ask the American people what they want as to an important policy, and I couldn't think of anything more important. There are many important issues this election, but nothing more important than a court that's split 4-4 on major issues like affirmative action, religion, race, gun rights, free speech. All of those are now in the balance with Justice Scalia's passing.
But do you fear that the battle lines are redrawn if we say if the president has less than a year to go, don't do it? I mean, isn't someone going to say when you're at that less than a year to go stage that they're going to back time it and say, well, actually, you have a year to go in your less than a year to go before we mark it off because you have a year to go? But it's a moving target, right?
It's a good point you're making. I just think that this gives the American people an opportunity for a referendum on all of these issues. You know, a lot of the issues Americans care so deeply about can't be affected through the normal electoral process anymore because the Supreme Court has seized power over all of them. Why not put it up to the voters which direction they would like the court to go on all these issues? They'll vote in November, and then we can turn and confirm people right after. Let me also say the Supreme Court is not a body run by one person. It has 8 other members. It can still function.
All right, well, if you're a conservative, you might like that because the 4-4 makeup of the court right now would behold lower court rulings on everything from deportations to other agonizing issues that would favor them, right?
Yes, that's true. Well, I think it washes out. I think you're right on the immigration order that President Obama unilaterally refuses to enforce immigration laws. The lower court struck down that policy, so that would stay in effect in a 4-4 court. 4-4 court can't change anything. Right. It's a status quo. But other issues that are great concern to conservatives, like the Little Sisters of the Poor not having to provide contraceptives with their health insurance, or a case about whether unions can force employees to have to contribute to political lobbying and endorsements. Those probably would have gone, those are right now in the liberal direction in the lower courts and would have gone maybe conservative. What if we elect a liberal in November? What if it's Hillary Clinton or Bernie Sanders we elect as president and one or both of the houses goes Democrat? Yes. Aren't they going to regret not seizing on a moment? I could see someone might have regret, say, if Hillary Clinton were to win, you might think, well, the Republicans in the Senate could have struck a better deal with Obama in his last year than having to confront a Sanders or Clinton nominee. I think that is a risk that the Republicans in the Senate are taking. On the other hand, I'm willing to trust the American people. If the American people in November vote for a socialist or someone just short of a socialist with Hillary Clinton,
you might
then
have
we should have a Supreme Court.
I think you make very cogent points, but I'm just saying the president still has a year to go. And I'm just saying it's not. I could see if this happened with 1 month left in his term, but
yes,
you got a ways to go here.
Yeah, I agree with you, but I think in the last year of a lame dunk presidency, when it's so important for the future, this is someone who's going to sit on the court for 25, 30 years. The court will function anyway. What's the rush?
But you can do a lot in your final months, right? I mean, Rudy Giuliani, September 11, 2001, he only had a few months left to go. as
Neil,
mayor of
that's
New
a
York. But
great idea.
He is defined by what
Yes.
he did in those few months, right?
You know, Neil, that's a great idea. I wish I'd thought of it first. You did. Let's put Rudy Giuliani on the Supreme Court.
Okay. Did you have anything on the way, Bar? Did you stop by on the... No, I'm just joking. Thank you very much. It is interesting. You never know, but it's a mess.